Hey guys, it's MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another video. I know it's been 5 days since I uploaded videos, but I've just been very busy at the studio, been handling client orders, and I've also been just stacking up on material and resources to prep for my next videos for this week. So I apologize for not uploading in the past couple of days, but that's going to change because I have a lot of things prepped for you guys to be able to check out and even have a discussion on. So today I just want to talk about Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, is because I'm super addictive to this game, and I just never thought that I would be addicted to this game at all. I mean, I was excited for this game and I knew I was going to purchase this game, but I didn't know that I was going to play this game to this magnitude. Now, if you guys don't know, 3 major games were announced in January, and that was Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, Monster Hunter World, and Dragon Ball FighterZ. And out of those 3 games, I was blessed enough to be able to buy all 3 of those games, and I'm super happy. I'm just overwhelmed with great titles just in January, and I'm looking forward to the rest of 2018 as far as games are concerned. But surprisingly, out of all 3 of those games, Dissidia NT just took precedence out of all of them. I played this the most, and then here comes Dragon Ball FighterZ second, and then lastly, I know you guys may choke me and chop me in the back of my neck for this, but I've been playing Monster Hunter World the least. But I'll talk about that in a separate video, in its own video, talking about Monster Hunter World. But with Dissidia NT, I'm super addicted to the game, for the simple fact is I like what they've done with the game as far as how they wanted to approach the game. They decided they wanted to go with a 3v3 approach. Now, a lot of fans who are fans of the original Final Fantasy Dissidia for the PSP, there's a lot of fans who played the game and walked in with the expectation that it's going to be pretty much the same as the original, and then found themselves being disappointed of how they had to simplify the game just a little bit as far as the customization is concerned. Now, the thing is, most fans haven't really been following the development of the Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. A lot of them just went in buying the game because of their past experience with the PSP version, so they didn't know what they were getting themselves into because they didn't research the game. But Koei Tecmo and Square Enix decided that they wanted to make this game more of an arena fighter, more of an esports tourney type of game, and I think it's pretty smart. I mean, it's a crossover that brings together the Final Fantasy characters, which crossover games tend to draw a lot of hype because there's fans from different generations of Final Fantasy, or just fans of different franchises that's within a crossover. In most crossover games, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, you have Smash Brothers, and now you have the Dissidia Final Fantasy with the different Final Fantasy characters. So it's smart to go with an arena fighter approach with their franchise marked Final Fantasy characters. So the thing is, I'm a team-based guy. I love competitive games, but I love competitive games where I'm able to team up with my friends or even team up with my brothers and just have a blast, have a good time. And Overwatch had pretty much filled that void in for my brothers and I, Keo Lancer and DX Strike. But when Dissidia Final Fantasy NT was announced and it said it was going to be a 3v3, my brothers and I were super stoked, super excited, and I had no idea that I was going to play this game to this magnitude, and even my brothers didn't expect themselves to even play this game to this magnitude. And it's really fun. It's really a blast. And if you into crossover games, or you into Final Fantasy, and you into like team-based competitive games, I advise you to give this game a shot. Now, I really want to dive into what I enjoy most about the game. And I already shared with you guys what I like about the game, and that the first thing, like I said, is the cooperative aspect of the game. But I want to talk about the characters, and I want to talk about the dynamics that gels the system pretty well together. Now, the thing is, most fans of the original Dissidia talks about customization of the characters, because you was able to map a bunch of different skills to different buttons in order for you to issue out these commands, to issue out these attacks. Well, they kind of stripped that away here in Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, and they pretty much give you EX skills. Now, with the EX skills, you're only allowed to have 2 EX skills. Now, the EX skills can be buffs and debuffs that you can map on the up and circle or down and circle buttons. Now, the thing is, in the original Dissidia, even though it was a 1v1 game, the game brought about a lot of unbalances. The game can be flat out broken. I mean, broken on a 1v1 aspect is because of the amount of customization and the endless possibilities of how you can form together your character to make the most broken character. And some characters became much more viable in a 1v1 type of environment compared to other characters. So some characters was just complete trash compared to other characters, so it made other characters useless. But with the 3v3 aspect of this game, your partners make up for the weaknesses that your characters may have. So it makes lot more characters viable in a 3v3 type of environment, which I really enjoy the most. Now, I just want to talk about the characters that I've been playing with so far that I really enjoy, because this is what brings the mechanics together, because you really have to think about how you're going to formulate your team, because you have to walk into this game with some friends, or with someone that you enjoy playing the game with, because if you play this game as a solo person, or you play online with random people, you won't enjoy this game, because this game was meant to be played with a team and having team discussion, because communication is very important in this game, because if you don't communicate with your partners, you're going to flat out get bodied in this game by more experienced players and players who are communicating with their teammates and everything. So communication, looking at your map, looking at the HP meter, and looking at the heads-up display period, and knowing when to use your EX skills is the most important part. So like I said before in my previous video, these characters are broken into 4 classes. You have your Vanguard, you have your Assassins, you have your Specialists, and you have your Marksmen, and you build your team based around those classes, because each class has their own special traits, own special abilities, and then the character itself have their own special traits that you can pretty much utilize. For example, right now I'm using Cloud. Cloud has a special break, a trait called the Limit Break. Now, if you guys play Final Fantasy VII or other Final Fantasy games, you have your special ability called Limit Break. And also, if you play Smash Bros. On the Wii U and 3DS, you also have the Limit Break as well. Now, Cloud has this mechanic to where he can charge his moves. If you charge his moves, you're allowed to be able to cancel. You can cancel your abilities, meaning that you can actually fake your opponent out by charging your ability, and as they come towards you, you can cancel out of your charge attack and move, strafe to the left, strafe to the right, or strafe backwards in order to fake them and bait them into whiffing the attack, and then you can punish them for it. Now, with the Limit Break, what the Limit Break does is it shortens the time of your charge, so you can even get advanced with it. You could charge your attack and then strictly just cancel out it real fast and attack your opponent, which is a really neat mechanic. Now the thing is, Cloud is a Vanguard, and as a Vanguard, I'm pretty much like the tank of the party and everything. So I have the ability, what most Vanguards can do is they can slap their opponent against a wall, which keep them in like a high stun, and then you can hit them with your HP attack to pretty much take them out. And Cloud is really fun. And of course I went with Cloud, and I know most of you guys in the video said of course you go with Cloud. I mean, everybody likes Cloud because Final Fantasy VII is overrated, but Cloud has been one of my favorite characters. Final Fantasy VII was one of the first Final Fantasy games that I played. I've been playing RPGs for years, but Final Fantasy VII was one of the first Final Fantasy games I've played, and I played it when the game launched, and I was in 4th grade when that game came out. So I love Cloud. Cloud's my favorite character, and let me tell you how dedicated I am to Final Fantasy VII. I had the Final Fantasy VII tech demo. I had the demo that came with Tobal number 1. It was a 2-disc. It had Tobal number 1, and then it came with the demo. So I was hyped for Final Fantasy VII since its like release of the demo, and I still have the disc till this day. But Cloud was pretty much a beginner character, so you can get a chance to understand the fundamentals and the mechanics of the game, and I just enjoyed it. And the team setup that I have, that my brothers and I had set up with Cloud, I use Cloud. My brother Keel Lancer uses Ace from Final Fantasy Act 0, and my brother DX Strike had used Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. So we had a Vanguard, Marksman, and Assassins type of setup. And the important thing is, when you dive in there, it's a big layer strategy if you think about it, because not only have to take in mind the consideration of the classes of the character, you also have to keep in mind of the type of EX skills. Like I said, the EX skills got buffs and debuffs that you can add to the character. For example, one debuff can be for if you equip on Cloud, you can use Provoke. Now, if you guys been playing MMOs or you've been playing Final Fantasy games, pretty much you can use Provoke to provoke your opponent into just only attacking you. So what it does is, if you highlight the character, you use Provoke, and the game will force them to lock onto you only, which gives your partners a chance to actually sneak the opponent, and also give your opponents time to regroup and rethink their strategy. So that's one example of an EX skill. You have other EX skills like Blinder. You can blind your opponent, which is, it blinds and fogs your screen and everything. So there's a lot of strategy behind that. So you discuss with your partner which EX skills you want to go into before battle. Then the other layer to it is understanding the stages, because the stages are very important, because some stages have more ledges, some of them have confined spaces and everything, and your character the stage really affects your character. So picking the stage is like picking a character, because some characters benefits better on certain stages than other characters, because some characters are more airborne and some characters are more ground based. Like for example, Tidus is more of an airborne character. Most of his attacks are done airborne and everything. And if you pick a stage with a bunch of ledges and walls around, it kind of messes up his mobility in the air. So you really have to keep that under consideration, especially if you're using Tidus yourself. And also you have to think about the summons that you pick, because the summons are pretty much buffers. They buff your character. They give your teams special buffs depending on what summon that you pick. Now the thing is, not only is to watch the stage, you have to take under consideration what summon works best on certain stages, because certain stages, characters, like for instance, stages that have bigger space. To me, in my opinion, I just think Shiva is useless in areas with big spaces because of how random her ability works on open spaces, and it gives the opponent a lot of room to pretty much escape a lot of Shiva's attacks and everything. So you have to really take under consideration that factor, which gives the game a lot of layer and depth. So when you look into the game, you will get overwhelmed because you see so much action going on. You see how fierce it is, and I think the best part of the game, to me, when it comes to Dissidia Final Fantasy, is the hypeness of when both you and your opponents are down to one stock, and the game is decided on who's going to get the final HP attack in to incapacitate one another. And that's when you really have to tighten your defense. You really have to keep your eyes out on the field and see what character is open. You got to find out where your teammate is at all times, so they won't get sneak attacked by somebody else and get incapacitated. And there was one moment which really had me really super excited. It was when I was using Ramza, and we were pretty much playing against this one team that had Noctis, Zidane, and Cloud. And my brother and I was using Ramza, Keel Lancer was using Kane, and DX Strike was using Cecil. Now, when we was playing in this, we was playing on the Final Fantasy 11 stage, and as we were fighting and everything, and we was keeping the pressure on our enemy. And what I liked about it was, and these are moments that really got me like excited and got me hyped, because it's fun how important your EX skills play. It's because Zidane was keeping pressure on one of my brothers, and I pretty much drew attention off of my brother by attacking Zidane. Started throwing stones at him to get his attention, and then I had him follow me, and then we had our own little 1v1 session going on while my brothers were handling the other two guys. Now the thing was, after I was able to distract Zidane long enough, I used an EX skill that allowed me to teleport behind any one of my enemies anywhere on the field. So since we were on the other end of the stage and everything, I was able to teleport behind Noctis, which means that Zidane's on the other end of the stage. It will take him a while to be able to travel towards me. So once I was able to go behind Noctis, I was able to sneak attack him while my brother was able to cast a special ability on him, and then end the round with an incapacitated HP attack. And it was just awesome, and we were just so hyped right there. It was just fun. It was smart strategy, and I just knew keeping Zidane away from the team long enough and then teleporting him, it was going to take a while for him to be able to assist. So it became more of a 3v2 situation than a 3v3 situation. So strategies like that can be really fun. But when it boils down to one stock, that's when things get hyped. Things get interesting, and that's what I really enjoyed most about the game. Now, it's a pretty interesting thing, but other than that, man, I'm really excited for this game. I love this game, and I was just recently, before I close out, there was an article on Event Hubs talking about Final Fantasy NT may well have larger esports potential than any other fighting game they've seen so far because of its team-based nature. And I really think that this game has potential. Besides the fact is that some of the game does lack. The game is not perfect. The game does lack in certain aspects, and I think as far as single player experience, because we get on Capcom about Street Fighter V, about what they've done, especially the casual fans and just fans in general, got on Capcom about the lack of modes that they came out with out the gate with Street Fighter V, and this game is bare bones in that aspect as well. So I would have to criticize Square and Tecmo for that, just as well I criticize Capcom for that. If you're going in with a one-player experience in mind, you would not find this here. You'll find the bare minimum here, which could turn you off. But other than that, I think this game has a lot of potential to really hit the esports scene. They still need a lot more features that they need to like adding to this game like a spectator mode for those for the spectators and everything, for them to be able to follow the game, and for everyone to sit back in the audience to be able to follow the game a lot better. They also need some online lobbies and a better ranking system. As far as online connectivity, as far as lag and stuff is concerned, since I've been playing the game, I experienced lag about 4 or 5 times, but other than that, we never really had terrible connection against the opponents. And if you keep that in mind as well, most people don't see this as a fighting game. If you compare Marvel vs. Capcom or Smash Brothers or Street Fighter or other fighters, most people who play those fighters are serious into fighters. So a lot of people play with wired connections. I think with NT, I think the issue is most people aren't really into fighters. So I can see a lot of players, they're pretty much playing with a wireless connection. So you're going to have some rough gameplay experiences, which, like I said, out of all the games I played, the only bad experience I had as far as lag and latency is concerned was only 5 games. But other than that, I had a great experience with the game. But that's pretty much it with what I think of NT so far. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm really hyped for the game. I'm thinking about the game right now as we speak, and my brother's been talking about it on Facebook. My brother's thinking about it while DX Strike is definitely thinking about it while he's in school and everything. We just super hyped for it, so hopefully we get the chance to play some more tonight. But if you guys are looking to play other players, I started a Discord channel for Dissidia Final Fantasy NT, so make sure look in the comment section below or look in the description for the invite to join the Discord channel. So there's a lot of games you can competitive matchmaking you can find there, and check it out. So that wraps everything up. If you have any questions, make sure you leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below. I have some other videos talking about Dragon Ball Fighters and Monster Hunter World this week, so make sure you come back to my channel, check that out. So you guys have a good day. See you Game Fiends later. Peace out.